Hey, hey, how are you doing today? I'm doing swell. Yeah, swell. YouTube! What's good? What's going on, man? It's your boy B, and we back in this mud with another reaction video, man. As you guys see by the title, man, we got 7 worst players. I was thinking it was gonna be 7 worst plays. It's 7 worst players, and he got the Celtics. Look. He done fucked around and got the fat fingers and put the Celtics in the video. Oh, yeah, it might be KD. It can't be Al Horford. It got to be KD. But anyway, 7 worst players of the NBA. 7 worst players of the 2022 playoffs, man. So look, we're gonna check this video out. If you guys enjoyed the video, enjoy the reaction, y'all already know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn the notifications, all the good stuff. It helps out with the channel, man. Comment your thoughts and opinions below so you have a chance to be featured and shout it out in this vid. Real quick shout out to this guy that posted the video, man. The channel Nonstop Sports, man. Big shout out to Nonstop Sports for posting the content, man. Definitely had to sub up to him for this as well. Let's go ahead and check him out.
These are not the worst players in the NBA. They just disappointed us the most. Here are 7 stars who These are not the worst players in the NBA.
Okay.
They just disappointed us the most.
I like that better. But you know, you got the title stuff, you know, it's YouTube. You know how YouTube get down. But I could dig with that one.
Here are 7 stars who heavily underperformed in the 2022 NBA playoffs. D'Angelo Russell. For the first time in franchise history, the Minnesota Timberwolves had a big 3, or so they thought. Young Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns played very well in the playoffs against Memphis, and at moments, it's fair to say they were spectacular. Edwards averaged 25 points in his first playoff appearance, shooting over 40% from 3. Cat averaged 22 and 10, shooting 45% from 3, and further making the case as the best shooting center of all time. However, the last part of their big 3 was
best shooting center of all time? Towns? Do y'all agree with that? Or those are actually fast? I don't know. I ain't 100% sure on that one. I don't know.
D'Angelo Russell averaged just 12 points per game on a horrendous 33% shooting. In the deciding Game 6, the Timberwolves coach benched D'Angelo in the 4th quarter, and we can hardly blame him. Russell couldn't buy a bucket and was a non-factor on the defensive end. His future in Minnesota seems extremely uncertain. Donovan Mitchell. For a player with and we can hardly blame him. Russell couldn't buy a bucket and was a non-factor on the defense.
I ain't gonna lie, like I don't know if y'all remember, like if you ever done like the NBA 2K the builder, where you get to test out your build and stuff, and you played against him when he was on the he wasn't playing for the Timberwolves, he was playing for the Warriors. I think he was playing for the Warriors. Bruh, that nigga don't miss. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe they boosted stacks up or something in the 2K, but he won't miss. He was not missing. I ain't gonna lie. You can't leave him open in that builder. You can't leave him open. He will green that motherfucker. For sure. It's facts.
Defensive end. His future in Minnesota seems extremely uncertain. Donovan Mitchell. For a player with supreme athleticism, extremely long arms, and quick feet.
How tall is Donovan Mitchell, bro? How tall is Donovan Mitchell? Hold on. Donovan Mitchell. Bro, he's the same height as me. Hold on, Donovan Mitchell, big fella. We the same height? Wow. And he just caught a body, too. I ain't know that. He do be looking short as shit in there anyway. On the court, out in that broadcast view. They gonna hold you.
horrible defender. He's been a subpar defender his whole career, but his lack of defensive effort has been masked by his great offensive output, but not in the 2022 playoffs. The Utah Jazz lost the series against the Mavs, who had no business winning 2 games without their best and most important player, but they did, thanks to the worst perimeter
Disappointment. One of the most viewed videos on the channel.
defense we've seen in these playoffs. Utah's guards and wings looked like they couldn't contain a grandma strolling through the park, let alone Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie driving towards the rim. Their defense collapsed too early and too often, leaving the poor Rudy Gobert to either leave a wide-open dunk or a wide-open 3. Naturally, he stayed in the paint and then rotated to the open 3, but it was useless. In Game 2, the Mavs made a franchise record 22 threes, and of those 22 makes, 17 were uncontested, the most by any team in the history of the NBA.
Cashing out on him.
Donovan had high-scoring games, and he did average 25 points in the series, but he was often forcing it. Too many times he dribbled the ball for the entire possession and jacked up tough, uncontested jumpers. Spida shot just 39% from the field and a terrible 20% from 3. In the past, Mitchell proved that he could
that's that shit I don't see, man. That's the stuff I don't be seeing, bro. I just see like just the plays, like the highlights. I don't get to really see like the actual individual player stats, like what they really shot that game. I see the numbers, but like you can score 50 points, but you could have shot that bitch goddamn 200 times. You feel me?
A capable playmaker in the pick and roll, but in these playoffs, we saw very little of his passing. What was especially painful to watch was his on-court relationship with Gobert. Rudy is far from a great post scorer, but Donovan often didn't pass him the ball when Gobert was wide open for a dunk. We expected another leap from Donovan after he shined in the 2020 playoffs. He regressed and is arguably one of the most overrated superstars in the NBA today. James Harden. Harden's left drives to the basket used to be one of the most unstoppable offensive moves in the NBA, and there are multiple reasons why Harden was so effective. Supreme ball control and silky dribbling, paired with exceptional strength, low center of gravity, and an elite first step, allowed Harden to create an advantage against pretty much anybody. James's playmaking mastery and the tendency to find an open three-point shooter limited the amount of help the defenses could provide on his drives. And if all else failed, he could take his patented step-back threes or initiate contact to draw the foul. Harden's left drive was such a powerful weapon that it guaranteed a playoff berth and at least a couple of wins in the playoffs. That is simply not the case anymore. Harden's first step disappeared. For the majority of the 2022 season, James couldn't get past his defender. His step-back 3 was not falling, and his effective field goal percentage dropped by 7%. However,
trash. That's all I'm gonna say. Trash. You know? Trash.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mother. But when she gets
I was thinking him and Embiid was like the best duo or something.
Greasing some palms to get things done, and she rides with Geico because she'd never rebel against great service. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
The Beard is still a top-notch playmaker. Harden's ability to push the ball through a forest of hands into the narrowest of spaces is at the very top of the league, and he showcased his splendid passing in the series against the Raptors, where he dissected Toronto's defense with 10 assists per game. However, in the second round against the Heat, in the absence of Joel Embiid, his scoring was desperately needed, but Harden wasn't able to deliver. And the problem was not missing shots, but how passive and harmless he was offensively. Harden was neutered by Jimmy Butler, and he had only 2 shot attempts in the second half of the deciding Game 6. Throughout the series, James averaged only 12 shot attempts per game and hit only 40% of them. At the age of 33, he showed a worrisome lack of burst and declining athleticism. Will he ever get back to the high-scoring James Harden from Houston? Trae Young. When a superstar plays for a mediocre team that barely made the playoffs, nobody expects him to advance past the #1 seed. However, nobody expects him to look completely harmless either. In the 2021 playoffs, Trae Young was one of the biggest stars, averaging 29 points and 9.5 assists per game. In the 2022 playoffs, averaging 29 points and 9.5 assists per game. In the 2022 playoffs, he played perhaps the 5 worst games of his career. Young made only 22 field goals in the entire series against the Heat, with the abysmal shooting of 31% from the field and 18% from 3. He averaged a measly 15 points per game and had the same number of assists as turnovers. In the 76 games he played in the regular season, Trae had only 1 game where he scored less than 13 points. In the series against the Heat, he had 3. With their best player in terrible form, the Hawks didn't stand a chance. Big credit to Miami's defense, who had done a brilliant job on Young. Trae's killer 3-point shooting, floaters, and slash and kick game is the driving force behind the Atlanta now offense.
pass.
Heat's coach Eric Spoelstra knew that to stop the Hawks, he needed to stop Young's pick-and-roll wizardry. Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and PJ Tucker all aggressively switched onto Trae. They completely took away his drives to the basket and forced him to take tough contested jumpers. Young said that he hasn't been defended like that since high school, and he couldn't find a way to unlock the Heat's defense.
Double teaming
Trae
the
looked
fuck out
so
of him.
overwhelmed and helpless, and it's fair to say he played the worst stretch of basketball of his 4-year career. To be fair, Trae's main pick-and-roll partner Clint Capella was out for almost the entire series, while Collins and Bogdanovich played through injury. Even at full strength, the Hawks were a heavy underdog, and it would be a miracle if they advanced. Instead of constantly playing with the ball, Trae should take a page out of Steph Curry's playbook. He needs to play more as a spot-up shooter, running through screens, and be involved in more handoff actions. This would make Atlanta's game plan much more
Curry,
varied
bro.
and unpredictable,
Can't
and it would be
stop him.
harder for defenses to guard him. Young and the Hawks got a lesson from the Heat. Now it remains to be seen if they will learn anything from it. Chris Paul. When he's playing well, he's
CP3.
a point guard, and when he's not, nobody is saying anything to him. Why not? Patrick Beverley heavily criticized Chris Paul during his guest appearance on ESPN, and despite the obvious rivalry between them, we have to admit that he was kinda right. Chris Paul did play like a point guard.
That right there
in the
breaking
first round of
neck. That push, I remember that push too. That right there breaking neck, dog.
criticized Chris Paul during his guest appearance on ESPN, and despite the obvious rivalry between them,
Damn.
we have to admit that he was kinda right. Chris Paul did play like a point guard in the first round of the playoffs against New Orleans.
Going
After
crazy.
Devin
We dropped
Booker
like
got
40
injured in
some
Game
points.
2, CP3 single-handedly won Game 3 with 19 points in the fourth quarter, finishing the game with 28
dropped like
points,
40
14
something.
assists, and 0 turnovers. In the deciding Game 6, he was perfect, literally. Paul led the Suns to victory with 33 points on 14 for 14 shooting from the field, plus 4 for 4 from the foul line. It was an NBA playoff record for most points without a miss, and Paul was one of the best performers in the first round of the playoffs. In the second round against the Mavs, Paul and the Suns got to a great start. They took a 2-0 series lead, with CP3 orchestrating the offense, averaging 23 points on 60% shooting. And then, abomination. In the final 5 games of the series, he was held to 13 points or fewer, and turned the ball over 3.6 times per
Over.
game, with less than 6 assists
Over.
per contest. We wonder if he was injured, because that's the only thing that would explain such a huge
Hey, it was one of his birthday during the playoffs too.
drop-off in performance.
If I'm not mistaken.
We understand that CP3 is 37 years old, but he has a long history of big playoff flops. And because they got blown out so badly on their home court,
Big
this one
playoff
left
flops.
arguably the worst aftertaste of them all. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. At the start of the
we
2022
go.
NBA season, the bookmakers gave the Brooklyn Nets the best chance of winning the
Ben
title.
Simmons.
And before the start of the playoffs, despite all the injuries, Kyrie's absence, losing James Harden, and Ben Simmons sitting out, the Nets were still considered one of the main favorites. The biggest reason for that was Kevin Durant. In the 55 regular season games he played, Durant looked like the best player in the NBA. With KD in the lineup, the Nets won 65% of their games, which would be enough for first place in the East. Without him, they won only 29%, which would rank near the bottom of the league. KD
Damn.
was dropping buckets on everybody,
Down there with
using
the
his
Rockets.
masterful isolation skills to win games for the Nets. But against Boston, the quote-unquote best scorer in the game stopped scoring. The Celtics pushed him around, blocked his movement, and didn't allow him to get to the ball. When he did have it, they swarmed him with
Box.
multiple defenders. He played extremely poorly in the
Box.
first game and was close to useless in games 2
Box.
and 3. The Nets tried to get him open with pin-down
Box.
screens, post-ups, a lot of isolation, but nothing worked. Every
Box.
Celtics player was his primary defender at one time. Even the small Peyton Pritchard guarded him for a few possessions. By rotating guys on KD, nobody on the Celtics got tired. Durant tried to figure out scoring strategies against
Now,
so
you
many
can see
different
the damn sweat in the picture. Damn, what type of camera they using, dog? The sweat dripping from the
coverages
crazy.
and was aggressive enough in Game 4, but it was too late. The Celtics swept the Nets, and KD had the worst shooting performance of his career. For the series, he made only 38% of his shots and 33% behind the arc. With KD struggling, Kyrie Irving's mediocre performance flew under the radar. Kyrie was spectacular in Game 1, almost winning the game by himself with 39 points. But after that, he played uninspired basketball for the rest of the series, averaging just 15 points in the next 3 games.
Kyrie, man.
Despite the common belief that the Nets role players didn't play well enough, it wasn't the case. Nobody except Blake Griffin shot below 55%, and other than Drummond and Claxton's troubles from the free throw line, they all played as expected or even better. It's true that Boston had the #1 defense in the NBA, but Jimmy Butler played spectacularly against the same team. This only means that KD and Kyrie underperformed and are the first to blame for the Nets
Facts,
getting
man.
swept.
facts, man. It's facts. It's facts, bro. There you guys go, though, man. 7 worst players of the 2022 playoffs, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, enjoy the reaction, man, y'all make sure you leave a like button, man. Very much appreciated. Look, comment y'all thoughts and opinions below about the video. Was this valid? Was this like a valid 7 players? Let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? And he did say in the beginning that they just played bad. He ain't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? They not the worst, but they just had like some bad moments in the playoffs, bro. Yeah, especially them Celtics. I don't know what they had going on. Them games threw me off. But anyways, man, let's get these shout-outs real quick, man. See what we got going on, man. Let's get these shout-outs, coach. Let's get these shout-outs, man. Oh, Lordy. We got. Let's get some new people, man. What is it? Comments. I shot out, bro, already. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I already did. Let's look at these 2 right here, man. Big shout out to my man Robert. Pass Dan. Robert Pass Dan. I see you, man. The photo a little blurry because I'm like zoomed in like 500x. That look like a Warriors hat, big fella. You know what I'm saying? You done fucked around and got the 5 fingers on me, got the laughing and shit. I know what video you commented on too. It's right here. Appreciate the support though, man. Appreciate the support, Robert. Another shout out goes to my man Mary J. You know what I'm saying? All around GOAT. That Black Panther watch gotta be the best one. Facts. That bitch looked like it was about to jump out the damn out through the damn screen. You know what I'm saying? Through the glass. They had some dope, but bro, like they really out here chasing the money. You go for the watch. I ain't gonna lie, Jay. You say the watch. I'm going for the truck. The armor truck. You know what I'm saying? The armor truck. Who had the armor truck? I forgot who had armor. Who we had first in the beginning of that video? I can't even remember, bro. Whoever had the armor truck, that was hard. Facts. But anyways, man, shout out to Robert and my man Mary J, bro. Appreciate y'all, bro. Appreciate the love and support, man. Looking forward to other people comment down in the comments. Make sure y'all comment y'all thoughts and opinions below about the video if you made it this far. If you haven't, that's tough. Check out one of the videos on the screen if you ain't done so already, man. It's definitely a banger. You don't want to miss out. I'm out this mug, man. Appreciate the love and support.